Hello and welcome to the Sisters for Fitness Wellness Show. I'm Stephanie Gaines-Bryant. Our guest today is Sergeant John Quarless. He's with the Prince George's County Police Department Strategic Investigative Unit. We're talking about elderly scams or scams against elderly people. And it's something that's going on. It is something that's huge. So many innocent people are being taken advantage of nowadays. So we thought we would take this time to talk to you. Thank you for joining us, Sergeant Quarless. Quarless is right.
Yes.
Okay. Now, how big is the problem now compared to maybe 10 or 15 years ago?
So just in reporting of 2025, I'll give a quick example. We have reached, we're at a loss today about $6 million with over 530 cases reported, and 33% of those cases are 60 and over community.
Wow.
Versus maybe 10, 15 years ago, the numbers of financial crimes, were probably still up there, but we're seeing more scams, tech scams, that are with technology accelerating the speed of how to get access to a victim and get their information and attempt to take their funds.
So the tech scams right now, would you say, are the most popular or the most frequent things you see?
I think tech scams, yes, because every day we're getting them, whether they're tolls, banks, Amazon, the companies that we trust and we're familiar with. But any day it can change, right? One day it's a text, it's an email, spam, a spoof call, a call that may look like it's coming from your bank, but it's not, it's a bad actor.
So let's do this. Let's talk about the different types of scams. Just as we were getting ready for the show just a few minutes ago, I got a scam call. Mm-hmm. How do you know? And now they say on the phone or on my iPhone, it says potential scam. Mm-hmm. How do you know that this call is real, that this call is not real?
So today, these guys are really good. They're very sophisticated. They create a sense of urgency. So the tip that my number one tip to advise is slow down and process, right? Because you're not going to know. They're going to give you information that you would think only our trusted companies or banks would have. Your social security numbers, your last, known transactions. So the thing is, if they're asking for money, hang up and call your bank. Hang up and call your trusted folks you trust or family members to process this with. If they're saying a bank, my number one thing is, okay, hang up and then call the number on the back of your card and speak to them directly.
Now, something that happened to my husband a couple of weeks ago was about a toll, mm-hmm. saying that he owed money for a toll, and it had like what appeared to be a legitimate number attached to it. And how do you know that this is not right? And what exactly is this scam? They tell you that you missed paying a toll and you need to pay now. What's the usual thing you hear with that?
So what you're referring to is the ones we get all the time, and that's the toll text messages. And it usually goes, hey, you have to pay this or a fine will increase. So that creates an urgency. So people just want to hurry up and just pay it before it goes up, right? Or you'll get a text message saying, hey, pay this or you'll have a warrant out for your arrest.
They told him he was going to have a warrant.
Right. So as far as I know, no government agency or law enforcement agency will ever send you a text message, an email, or even call you and tell you have a warrant and pay this amount of money, right? So if you hear stuff like that, it's more than likely, I'm confident to say it's a scam. And then if you're just not sure, hang up and call your local agency, your law enforcement agency, or call the toll. Do not call the number that's in the text message, because that's the number to the bad actor. And then what you just described is it looks like a familiar number. That's what we identify as spoofing, where a number on your caller ID looks like a common number. You'll see a capital 1-800 numbers, Apple 1-800 numbers. That's all they're doing is they're hiding their number, and they're basically mirroring or copying a trusted organization or government entity.
With the text mails, a lot of times if you kind of search what that email is, it's not a legitimate email. It may, and some, they look so real nowadays. And if you don't double check, you can absolutely be taken advantage of.
Yes, and just like with phones, it's very easy to make an email, right? And all you need is one letter off or one period off or number to make it look like it's a company. So we always encourage to verify the address, look at every letter, make sure something's off, and don't always look, because in your emails it'll say the person's name instead of the email address. Well, I can easily change any email anytime to a name that I want it to change. Actually look at the email, and a lot of times you'll see it's like 123xyz at Gmail or at some random email addresses. So we have to pay attention to details like that, and that's why it's important for us to come out and educate everybody, because 10 years ago, it wasn't easy to get a corporation email or stuff like that. Now I can create anything in seconds.
A couple of years ago, I have an elderly aunt. She's passed away since then, but she got involved in an in-person scam. Somebody she came across in the parking lot at a supermarket. Tell us if you come across similar.
Yeah, so we identify those and we call those pigeon drops. All right, so the idea.
Like a pigeon?
Yes.
Okay.
So the idea is a target or a potential victim is just walking into the grocery store or to your local shopping center, and then you encounter somebody who looks like a trusted citizen who identifies that they found money somewhere with a note. And it triggers some type of emotion, and the idea, or what they're going to tell you is, we're going to split this money, but you have to put this money in your account, take it out, and then at the end of the day, the victim has lost all their money out of their account and they never see this person again. So what I have always said since I've been here is there's no such thing as easy money. So when it sounds good, it's not. When it's too good to be true, it's not true. Random people aren't going to come up to you and say, hey, do you want half of this money or anything like that? Or you're going to get more money than what's in the bag. So just anytime you see those, call the police, let us look into it, and go from there. So yeah.
And what about the ones, the scams with the checks? You'll get this amount of money if you send me a check for $500, you'll get $14,000. But you have to send me this $500 before I release the big money.
Yeah. Those are all scams, right? There's hundreds and hundreds of different scams. And one thing in common is the victim believes they're going to get more money or secure their money, whether it's secure it and grow it in interest, or I'm going to give you $100 and you're going to give me $500 or $2,000. It's going to sound so good, and you're going to have to do it right now, and it's creating that sense of urgency where it doesn't give you the opportunity to process it. And that's their goal. Their goal is to get as much money from you as fast as they can and then disappear.
You said earlier that it's like 30% of elderly folks get involved, or that's a lot of the people you end up having to investigate issues that happen to senior citizens. I guess the question is obvious, but why do you think they're such big targets?
So that's just 30% is just what's been reported to us this year, right? And the average loss, I believe, was $22,000. But just in the last 6 months alone, it's gone from 15 to 20 to 600,000 for that 60 and up community. And they're targets, right? They've spent their life working, they have savings, they have investments, and now they're in retirement mode and they're comfortable, and the bad actors know that, right? What we're seeing as the pattern is, yes, our younger population is getting targeted, but they're the lower dollar amounts, the thousands, 10,000s. But our older population is getting hit harder. So 33% doesn't sound like a lot for 2025, but the amount loss is high for an individual that's reporting it, and that's just, that's their savings.
What do you suggest? What is your best advice for seniors as we go about learning about this age of technology? As things change from, it seems like, month to month, week to week, AI, there's so much going on to keep up with. What is your best advice?
Yeah, so I don't believe we're ever going to solve this problem. AI is always gonna, the technology happens faster than we've ever seen before, especially in the last couple of years, right? So the advice is protect yourself. If you have trusted family, friends, or power of attorney, get that to secure your funds, right? Simple things as, passwords. Don't share your password. Always try to use 3-point authentication, and don't ever share that authentication number when you get on your text. We see that a lot in text scams where they're saying the bank, and I need this code that came to your phone. Don't give it, right? That you're giving them access to your account. So my advice is, don't ever rush to give out your money, and then talk to somebody before doing so. And a lot of times, governments don't pressure you for money. We don't ask for your money. We don't tell you to give us your money for a warrant. If you have a warrant, you have a warrant, right? Mm-hmm. What we've been seeing common now, and it's kind of like conflicts to what I'm saying, is you'll get calls from a bail bondsman saying a close family member is in jail and they need bond money. I encourage you to hang up and call that family member, or call their close one to verify it. But what you'll see very common is they're going to tell you, don't tell anybody, right? From grandparent scams, which is the one I just described, the bail bondsman, to bank scams. They're always going to tell you, don't tell the bank teller, don't tell your family, you don't know who to trust, you don't know who gave out your information. And that's one major red flag. They don't want you to tell anybody because they know once you tell somebody, somebody's going to say, this doesn't make sense.
There's a lot of shame involved in, once you've done this, you've lost money, telling other people that this happened to you. How do you get people to report it?
Yeah, so shame is huge. And with our older community, our 60 and up, a lot of them aren't reporting it, and they've lost a lot of money. And sometimes we're having to look for them based off of a case we're working, and we identify them as a victim. And the goal is to educate the community and let them know there's nothing to be shameful about, right? In 2025 and on, this is no different than someone vandalizing your car, breaking into your car. Have the discussion, talk about it. But every report matters, and that's why we encourage everyone to report it.
What's the process in reporting?
So there's a couple ways of reporting it. You can contact your police department, their non-emergency, an officer will come out or transfer you to a telephone, an officer that can take information on the phone and reporting it. If you get those spam calls, there's a federal website, ic3.gov. You can always, it's a quick form you fill out, give the phone numbers, email addresses, spam, and what that does is that collects information and sends it out to the agencies that need to be aware of it. So non-emergency, you can always call your local financial crimes unit, or just your non-emergency, have an officer come out and take the report.
How successful have you all been in dealing with this?
So my standards are high, right? Every case closed is a success. But we look at it as how many bad actors we can get off of the numbers that were reported, right? So every report, unfortunately, in this day and age, won't be able to be solved, but every report is looked at and that data is collected to build something, to build the case, to direct us to where we need to go. So that's why it's extremely, extremely important. One, don't be ashamed. Just like I said, if you got your car broken into, you're going to call us, right? If you lost money to a scam, call us. And we'll see, and we'll do as much as we can to find these guys.
I was under the impression that a lot of these scams were coming from overseas, but before we went on air, you were telling me that it's everywhere. It's not just somebody in Nigeria or somebody in China. It's coming from here as well. It's all over.
Yeah, so that's the stigma that everything, is coming from, Russia, China, and all these other countries. But just as much as they're coming from internationally, they're in-state as well. We have them in the county, we have them in the DMV area, and around the country. I mean, we're working cases, and we partner with our federal agencies to assist us, but also with other local agencies in state and local around the country, because it's just that it's everywhere. The internet can touch everybody at any time, but we're not limited to how far we can go.
Do you deal with romance scams? People catfishing, saying they're someone they're not in order to get your money, promising you a relationship, and are those crimes you deal with as well?
Yeah, so romance scams are very popular in our elder community, our 60 and up community.
I would think it was the young folks.
So they get them too, just not as much, because our older community have the funds to go ahead and get that. They have the social security numbers and the credit to assist and invest when someone has built their trust through romance.
So does that come through these websites, or is that something else? How do they find their victims?
So you name it, it's out there. Social media, dating applications.
Okay, that's what I was trying to think of.
Yeah, the dating apps. Dating apps are always there, but we're also learning that our phone numbers are accessible as well. You'll get a random text saying, "Hey, how are you?" and they're saying, "Oh, I don't know you," and then that's how they build that trust. "Oh, I'm so and so." It's funny how we just randomly met via text. We should get to know each other, stuff like that. And then that's how they build that trust. And those aren't as fast, right? It takes time to build rapport, to build that trust. What we say is financial crimes is another form of abuse, elder abuse, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a part of elder abuse in general, you build that rapport and trust, so they don't report it to authorities and report it to trusted family, right?
And especially with those romance crimes, you may have an elderly person who's away from family, and that person they're contacting, that's the only communications they've had with anybody all day. So they're taking this opportunity and the person on the other end knows this, and they're preying on that.
Yes, and they're getting all your information. They're getting your name, your social security number. They're asking, they have these emergencies that they need help financially, or they want to come see you. Can you just, purchase them a ticket? And there's an investment, and just speaking on investment, we're seeing a lot of cryptocurrency, right? And that's commonly as Bitcoin and stuff like that. And what we're seeing with the our elder community is they are withdrawing a significant amount of cash and going to a local Bitcoin or crypto machine and depositing that money. And once that money goes in there, you're not getting it back, right? And crypto is extremely hard to trace and freeze. It's not impossible, but it's hard. And one thing I will put out there is if anybody ever tells you to put money into a crypto machine, don't do it. Just off of even people who understand crypto and they use it.
That's what I was just thinking.
Yeah.
What is the understanding that they give these people that would make you think that you could go to a machine, put somebody in, and get something out?
So it's about trust, right? They think that their bank is telling them to put money into a crypto to secure their funds so they can create another account. That's what we're seeing with our older, our 60 and up, right? So they're believing that, oh, someone's actively targeting your account right now, so we need you to take this money out and go put it into this crypto machine. And that is 100% a scam and false. Just the fees on those crypto machines, they take so much of your money just to even use that machine. It doesn't even make sense, right? So anytime you hear crypto and you didn't do your research study and you don't want to do it, voluntarily, it's a scam.
Are you seeing a lot of young people fall prey to that as well with the crypto? Because it sounds new, it sounds hip.
Yeah, so I think when it comes to our scams, I think we're seeing it a lot in the, when it comes to withdrawing money and putting it in. I think the younger population who already has crypto accounts, they're not securing their accounts, which allows a bad actor to easily get access to move that money. I think that's the difference between the two age groups.
Do you see differences with gender? Do you see that maybe women may get targeted more than men get targeted more than women?
That's a good question. No. There is no consistent, if I was to put it on a graph, it varies. But again, I think it's whoever they can build trust and immediately get their attention and keep their attention.
Do you have different scams that focus on particular populations? You may have something that may appeal to African American seniors, or something that may appeal to Jewish seniors or Latino seniors.
No.
It's just all around.
So money's universal, right? Money is, if you have it, they want it. They're not targeting. I think that, because our information is so public, addresses, areas, that may be something that they may consider. But again, remember, technology is so advanced, all they have to do is send out one max text to 600 people. And if you get one to buy in, that's 600,000 to 1 million that they can get if they want to.
Wow.
Right?
Wow. In wrapping up our show, what advice? Let's give a couple of pieces of advice that people can walk away with.
Yeah, so my first advice is if you believe you've been scammed or your money has, you've lost money due to a scam, report it to the police.
Don't be ashamed.
Don't be ashamed, report it, right? And then if you're able, some prevention tips would be, if you think it's your bank or you think it's a government entity, hang up and call them. Don't call them from the number that they gave you or the number that was on your call ID. If it's a bank, call the number on the back of your card or go to your bank directly and talk to them. What I've been saying consistently is don't rush to give out your money, right? If they want your money, they'll wait, right? Just verify, speak to somebody you trust, and process it. And if anything, just call the police.
Process it. Give yourself a chance to process this. Does this make sense?
Yes. Please do not rush to give out your money, because once it's gone, it's gone. In law enforcement, it's hard for us to get your money back. It's very rare.
That's what I was going to ask too.
Yeah.
Once that money is gone, it's gone.
Yeah. It's gone. We're like, our goal is to go out and charge these guys criminally. If we find it, that's great. But the way these networks and these scams work, it's very rare we're going to find it.
In looking into the future, technology is going to get better and better and better and better, and it's going to get even more difficult to discern what's right and what's not. How do we do that?
Yeah, so I think just don't trust anything until you verify it and confirm it. I think we're living with technology, social media, information that comes out. There's people who appear to give out correct information, but they're not. So always just verify it. Like I said, go to your bank, call your local police department, and just always do the research to see if this is true. But anytime somebody's asking money for a warrant or for your arrest, or pressuring you to give money, or guaranteeing you more money, it's not happening.
Nothing for nothing.
It is not. It's not. It's very. It's a scam. I've never been. There's no such thing as easy money. We've grown up.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
And as I want to say one more time, do not be ashamed.
Right.
To call, because the more information you have, the more likely you are to catch whoever's doing this.
Right. Every little piece of information helps. A phone number, just let us decide. We'll ask you the questions and to get the information we need to build these cases.
This is an absolutely necessary topic that we've been talking about, and I hope that you get some calls as a result of doing this show. Thank you so much. We've been talking to Sergeant John Quarless with the Prince George's County Police Department Strategic Investigative Unit.
The Financial Crimes Unit.
Financial crimes, that's a mouthful.
It is.
You've been watching the Sisters for Fitness Wellness Show. I'm Stephanie Gaines-Bryant. Have a great day.